I think if we continue to talk about the fear of failure and where that stems from or how we can learn from it, as Renee said in the chat here, failure and success is not an either or. We need to reframe it as a continuum. And if we think back to the conversation a couple of weeks ago about creativity, Kelly made that really good point. Creativity is failure and progress, right? So there's always failure in the creative stream. And I think that there's always going to be failure, however you frame it, within your life and within the things that you do.
I don't know if any of you are into Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist.
Yes, that was part of our creativity challenge.
There's so many great points, but the one I take away is just basically stop putting the pressure on yourself. You're not making anything unique. You just, take inspiration from where you can, give it credit, and then do it in your own way. People be like, I made a mistake. And I'm like, don't try to reinvent the wheel, right? Go get the wheel and then shift it. But also it's like, it's an easy way to be like, yeah, make mistakes. And I've shocked when some people on my team, when they've screwed something up and I've been like, okay, cool. Well, let's try this and this. It's almost sad to see how scared people are, right? And so hopefully if you can be someone that at least is like, we're okay, we're cool, we can figure this out. That's helped me, because the more I do it with others, the more I do it for myself.
Bob, I just love what you said here in the chat. What is failure anyway? We can reframe the traditional definition to be more positive and constructive. Failure is only a bad thing if we let it be that. That whole statement is really powerful. So, Bob, do you want to share some more on that thought?
The market, the way it is now, I don't know how many of you are invested, but you haven't lost the money until you sell.
Right.
It just struck me as another, maybe a more pertinent or current example or metaphor we can use too to think about it.
I was at a conference earlier this week, and it was an industry specific conference that I had industry specific business cards made up for. I was with a team member and we were working the booth and all those other good things. And I went off to go visit somebody because he had pointed me in his direction. He's like, that guy over there, he wanted to talk to you. I'm like, all right, I'll go on over there. So I went over there, but I only had my regular business cards with me, not the industry business cards. I'm like, dang it, bad salesperson. So I'm already just kind of beating myself up a little bit. But I was like, all right, well, here is the company. Here's Learning Rebels. Here's my business card. And so now he's like, oh, I only thought you did this. I'm like, no, I do all these other things too. And he's like, oh, well, this is really handy. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I think it is about that positive reframing that we talked about earlier.